Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn about Python tuples. If you are a beginner to Python programming language, this video is perfect for you. So let's start our video. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about what is a tuple, creating a tuple, accessing tuple elements where we discuss about indexing and slicing, tuple immutability, tuple operations, tuple methods, tuple unpacking, and finally tuple functions. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is a tuple? The first characteristics of tuple is it is a collection of an ordered element just like a list. But the main difference is that tuples are immutable. That means we cannot add, modify or remove elements from after creating them. Another thing is that tuples allow duplicate values unlike sets in Python. Similarly, tuples can store multiple data types such as integers, strings, lists, and even other tuples. Now let's see different methods to create tuples. So creating a tuple. In Python, the tuples are created using parentheses. The tuple constructor function converts list or other iterables into tuples. Another thing we should remember is that when we are creating a single element tuple, a comma must be added. Now let's go and practice all these features of tuple in Python code. Hash how to create tuples in Python, and then first I will describe about creating a tuple with multiple items. Now let me create a tuple named colors. So colors equals to, I'll use parentheses here, and as we know that tuples can hold multiple items separated by commas, so I will write like this: red, orange, and then blue. Close this parenthesis. Now so I have created a tuple here. Now I will print and see this. Print, and then I can do colors. Let's run this. See, we have created a tuple named colors where we have red, orange, blue as its element. Now let's create an empty tuple. So hash, I will write this to creating an empty tuple. We can create an empty tuple by using empty parentheses. So we will do like this here: empty and then tuple equals, I will give this parenthesis only, and then I can print this empty tuple. Now let's run this. The third one is about creating a single element tuple. So hash creating a single element tuple. As I explained earlier, a comma is required when we are creating a single item tuple. If comma is not used, Python treats it as a string instead of tuple. So now let's see this. I will write here single and then item tuple. I will give some string like Python here. Close this, and I will give comma. So here I give comma, that's why it is a tuple with one item. Now let's print this. sorry, print, and then single item tuple. If I want to see the type of this output, then I can write type single and then item tuple. So let's run this. See, we get this Python, and then our the output is tuple. But if I remove this comma, let's see, and if I run this code, then it will give that it is a string type. Therefore, we have to use comma if there is only single item in the tuple. Next, we want to practice is about tuple packing. So hash tuple packing. And tuple packing is about creating a tuple without parentheses. So let me say we have like numbers equals to 1, 2 and 3. I have not used here parentheses. Now let's print and see the result. Print, and then I will numbers. I'm going to run this. So the output is 1, 2, 3 within the parentheses. So if we want to check the type of the numbers, then we can write, print type and then numbers. Let's run this. So this is class tuple, and in this way we don't need parentheses. Python automatically recognizes comma separated values as a tuple. Another way of creating tuple is by using a tuple constructor. So let's practice this using tuple and constructor. Now let's create a tuple using tuple constructor. Here I will give list one nums, and then I will give some like 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and close this bracket. Now the tuple constructor function basically convert the list into tuple. Therefore, tuple and then I can write nums here, and I will use this tuple constructor function and give list nums and yes. So now if we print this tuple nums, like print tuple nums. Now let's run this. The output is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, we have converted the list into the tuple. The last one we want to practice is a tuple with mixed data types. So hash 6. Sorry, I forgot here giving 5. Okay, and then tuple with mixed data types. As we know that tuples can store different data types like integers, float, strings and booleans. So let's see this. So mixed underscore tuple, and then I will give integer here, and I want to give some strings, high, and some boolean also, and some floating point number. So here I have given different data types. Now let's print and see this. print and mixed underscore tuple. I have forgotten here yellow, and then I close this bracket. Let's run. See, I get all of this value. See, tuple can store various types of data. So these are the methods of creating tuples in Python. Now let's move to the another topic, that is how to access elements in tuple. Accessing tuple elements. We can use indexing method to access elements in tuples. In order to access the element from the last, we use negative indexing. Another is we use slicing method to extract some subset of elements of a tuple. We can also perform iteration using for loop in tuples. Now we are going to learn with example. Let's move to the Jupyter notebook. As accessing tuple elements. First I will discuss about access elements using indexing. As we know that tuples, they use zero based indexing. That means the first item is at the 0 and the second item is 1 and third is 2 and so on. Now let's see the example. So here I will take like fruits, and then I can give the name of the fruits like apple, and then orange, and let's say banana, and last element is, let's say, kiwi. I will close this parenthesis. Now if we want to access each element with its index value, then I can print like print fruits, and then I will give index value like here I have given 0 as the index value. So if I run this, I get apple. So that is the first element. Similarly, if I do 1 here, and then I will get orange, 2 I'll get banana, and then 3 I will get kiwi. However, if I give the index value that does not exist in here, then it will show an error. Let's see this. So I will write here 5, then I get the error saying that tuple index out of range. So I can give only the index that exists in our tuple. The next one is access elements by using negative indexing. So access elements using negative indexing. The negative indexing always starts from the last item with -1, and it always goes backward in direction. So for the same example of these fruits, if I do like print fruits and then I give -1, now let's run this. So I get kiwi. That is the last element in our tuple. Similarly, if I want to access banana, then I have to give here -2. Let's run this. See, I get the banana. And if I do like -1, -2, -3 and -4, if I do -4, then I will get apple, the first element of the tuple. So this is how negative indexing works, and it is useful when we want to access elements from the end of the tuple. Now let's move to the another, that is access tuple elements using slicing. Hash and then access multiple elements using slicing. As I mentioned earlier, slicing extracts a portion of the tuple using the format like I will write here, the tuple, and then the syntax is like start colon and colon and then step. So this is the syntax for tuple. Now let's see with the example. Suppose I have a tuple name numbers, so I will give like numbers equals to, I'll give the values as 1 2 3 4 5 6 and close this parenthesis. So from here I can choose elements from this tuple. If I do the starting index as 1 and ending index as 4, then we can get 2 3 4. Let's see. Print, and then I will write numbers, and then I will give the starting index as 1 and then ending index as 4 and close this parenthesis. And now let's run this. See, I get 2 3 4. We don't get 5 here because output will always be at the -1. Similarly, if I do like print and then numbers, and I will not mention the starting index. Here I have not provided the starting index. It assumes 0 index. So let's run this. I get 1 2 3. Similarly, if I perform like print and then numbers, and I will give here 2 starting index, and then I will not mention the ending index and close this parenthesis. Let's run this. So yeah, here I have not provided the ending index, so it will go to the last element and we get 3 4 5 6. Now if we want to access elements by giving stepping index also, then we can write as like print numbers, and then let's say here I will not mention the starting index and the ending index, but I will give the step value. Then close this parenthesis. So basically here there is no starting and the ending values, so we will take all the element but with the 2 as the increment index. So let's run this. See, I get 1 3 5, so it prints every second element. Now let's see how to check if an item exists in tuple or not. So the fourth one is check if an item exists in tuple. Suppose if we want to check whether certain item exists in tuple or not, in that case we use in keyword. Let's practice. Suppose we have fruits equals to, I will give here some of the fruits like banana, and then let's say kiwi, and another is orange. Now we want to know whether kiwi is in the tuple or not. So for that I have to print like kiwi in fruits. So this expression will check whether kiwi is in original tuple or not. Now let's run this. So it is true. That means it is there in the tuple. But if I give here apple, then let's see what happens. So if I give here apple and then run, so it is false because apple is not in our tuple. The fifth one is about iteration through a tuple using a loop. So 5 iteration through a tuple using a loop. Now let's use a for loop to access all elements in a tuple. So here we create tuple colors equals to, I will give some colors like black and then white and then red, and close this parenthesis. So this is a tuple. Now we will use for loop. So for color in colors and then colon, and then I will print color. Let's run this. See, the loop prints each element one by one, black, white and red. This was for how to access tuple elements. Now let's move to the another title, that is Tuple Immutability. In Python, an immutable object means an object whose values cannot be changed once it is created. Tuples are immutable, which means once we create a tuple, we cannot modify or change its element. However, if a tuple contains mutable elements like list, it can be changed. Now let's see this in action. Has tuple immutability. Now let's practice about modifying a tuple. #1 and then modify a tuple. So first we will create a tuple, name animals, and then I will give some name of animal like dog and then cat and let's say rabbit. Now let's try to change an element in the tuple and see what happens. So for that I have to write as animals and then I will give the one here and then I want to change to cow. So here we want to replace cat with cow. Let's run this. I will print this first. Animals. Now let's run this. So this throws an error because tuple do not allow to modify elements because they are immutable. Let's try to add or remove elements. So if I do like animals and then dot append, and then if I want to append like bear and then let's print this animal, print animals. Let's run. See, we get the error because we cannot append the new element in the tuple. If we do like remove also, like animals dot remove and what we want to remove is let's say dog, and then if I print animals and run this, see, tuple has no attribute remove. Therefore we can see that tuple do not support methods like append, remove or pop like the list. Now let's go to the another chapter, that is tuple operations. The important operations of tuples are concatenation, repetition and membership. Concatenation combines two tuples. Repetition operation helps to repeat elements. Membership operator checks if an element exists or not, which we have already learned. Now let's go and practice. The first one is concatenation. So this operation will join two tuples together. Let's see. So here I will give tuple 1 and I will give some element like 2, 4, 6. So this is our first tuple. Similarly, I can give another tuple, that is tuple 2, and then I will give 1, 2 and 3, and this is our second tuple. Now we want to combine these two tuples. For that we can simply do like, result equals to tuple 1 and then plus tuple 2. So this plus operator joins two tuples. Now we will print this, print and then result. See, we have the output 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3. So this combines two tuples. The next one is repeating tuple. So repeating tuples. This operation will help to repeat the tuple multiple times. For example, if I give here tuple, let's say 3 equals to, and then I will give 1, 2 and 3. Now I want to repeat these elements of tuple 2 times. That's why I will write here result and then I will give tuple 3 and then I will use this multiple operator and then I will give 2. So this operator repeats the tuple 2 times. Now let's print and see. Print and then result. Let's run this. See, we have repeated the elements 2 times. Third one is checking membership. Checking membership. We have practiced already, but still let's see this. Here we are using in and not in operators to check if an item exists in the tuple or not. So I will use colors and then I will give the element like red and then blue, let's say black, and close this parenthesis. Now we will check if black is in colors or not. So for that I will write print and then I want to check black and I will use in colors. Let's print this. It is true. Another is we will check if yellow color is in the in our tuple or not. So for that I will write print yellow not in. I want to check whether yellow is not in tuple colors or not. So let's run this. So it is true because yellow is not in the colors. Next is that we want to find the length of the tuple. So for that we will use the fourth method. So finding length of a tuple. We use len function as it returns the number of the elements in the tuple. So if I create here nums equals to, I will give 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, and this is our tuple. Now we want to know the length of this tuple, so we just have to write here print and then I will use the len function and I will give the name of the tuple and close these parentheses. Let's run this. It is 5. So this is the length of our tuple. Tuple methods are built-in functions in Python. They allow us to perform certain operations on tuple. Tuples have only two built-in methods. The count method counts how many times an item appears in a tuple. Similarly, index method finds the first occurrence of an item. Now let's go and practice in Python code. Hash tuple methods. So first one is, I will explain about count method. So this method returns the number of times a value appears in the tuple. So let's take a tuple name num equals to, and I will give 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 3, let's repeat, 2, 1, and then 5. Now I want to count the number of 3 in the tuple. So I will write print and then let's say count of 3, and I will use num dot count, and then I will, what I want to count, I want to count 3. So let's run this. So the count of 3 is 2 because there are 2 3 in the tuple. Next one is index method. So hash index and then method. This method returns the first position where value appears. So if I have like fruits equals to, and then I will write here apple, and let's say banana, and then let's say kiwi, and then melon, and now I want to know the index of banana, then I have to print it as a print, let's say index of banana, and then comma fruits dot index, and then I have to give of banana. Now let's run. See, the index of the banana is 1. Let's see what happens if the item is not in the tuple. So print, if I say fruits dot index, and then I will, let's give strawberry, which is not in our tuple. Then let's run this. See, we get the error. Similarly, what if the item appears multiple times, like if I give here, if I want to copy this one and then I will paste this one, but I will give apple 2 times, that is, let's say apple here again, and if I want to run, print like print fruits dot index, and then I'll give apple. So here we have apple, and the first apple is here and the second apple is here. Let's run and see the index value for the apple. So the result is 0 because this index function always returns the first occurrence of the value. That's why it is 0. Tuple unpacking. These features of Python allows to assign multiple values from a tuple and store them in a separate variable in one line of code. This helps to make code shorter, cleaner, and more efficient. Now let's go and practice this. Hash tuple unpacking. First, let me discuss about without tuple unpacking, which is the normal way of assigning tuple values to variables. So, without unpacking, I will give a student and then I will create a tuple here. So, let's say Harry and then 20, and then I'll say Harry is a, let's say, doctor. Close this parenthesis. Now if I have to assign these values to variable, then I have to perform like, name equals to student and then 0. Similarly, age equals to student and then 1, and job equals to and student 2. So basically this, in name it should be Harry and age 20 and job is doctor. So for that, if we use without the tuple unpacking, we have to do like this. So and then if we print, to print this thing, I have to print name and then age and job. Let's run. So yeah, we get Harry 20 and then doctor. So in this case we wrote too many lines of code, so we have to use tuple unpacking. So let's see with tuple unpacking. With tuple unpacking, so we can simply write like, for the above case we can simply write name, age and job, and we will directly assign like, this Harry and 20 and then doctor. So instead of writing these lines of code, we can simply perform in one line. If so, now we will print this name, age and then job. See, we get the same results. So this makes code easier and cleaner. Similarly, if we don't need age, we can simply use underscore like name, and then we use underscore and job and use this same Harry 20 and then doctor. If I print only name and job, then let's run this. So we will get Harry and doctor. So we will not get the 20 as the output. Therefore, the underscore is used when we don't need a specific value. Tuple functions are built-in functions that allow us to perform different operations on tuple. Len function get the tuple length. The count function count the occurrence of a value. The index function find the position of a value. Min and max function get the smallest and the largest value of a tuple. Sum function add all the values. The sorted function sort a tuple and returns a list. And the tuple function convert the list to a tuple. Any and all function check for true or the false value of a tuple. Now let's practice them one by one. I will skip the count and index because I have already explained earlier. Tuple functions. First one is we have len. So this function helps to find the length of the tuple. For example, if I have numbers equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so this is our tuple. Now let's find the length of this tuple. So we will write just print and then let's say number of elements and then len. This is the len function and I will give the numbers. So if I run this, the output is 6 because I forgot to do here comma, that's why maybe. Yeah, the length of this tuple is 7. Next function is minimum. So to find a minimum value we can use minimum function. I will use this number as the example for this also. Minimum value is min and then numbers. Let's run and see. The minimum value is 1 in this tuple. The another function is max. So this function helps to find the maximum value in the tuple. Print and then maximum value is just max and then the name of the tuple, that is numbers. Let's see. So 7 is the maximum value in the tuple. Another is we have sum function. It calculates the sum of the elements. Let's see this also. Sum, and for this we will just write here sum of numbers equals to sum and then the name of the tuple. See, the sum of the numbers of these elements are 28. Next we have is sorted. So this function sort a tuple. If I have a tuple like numbers and then equals to, I will give some random number 251 and then let's say 7 3 and then 6 and then 4. Now I want to sort this, so we'll write sorted underscore numbers equals to, I will use the sorted function and then numbers, right? And then let's print this. Print and then sorted tuple equals to sorted underscore numbers. Let's run. See, the elements are sorted. Another function we have is tuple. So hash tuple. So I will take one list here. So list data equals to, let's say 1 and 2 and 3. This is our list. Now I want to convert this to a tuple, so I will use a tuple function. Tuple underscore data equals to, I will use tuple and then list underscore data. So this will convert to tuple. Now let's print and see the result. Print and then tuple underscore data. Let's run this. 1 2 3. So it converts the list into a tuple. Next we have is any function. This function helps to check if any element is true. So has any. So we can take some like value and then 0, sorry, I will give 0 1 and let's say 0 again. Now let's check using any function. Print and then any, I will write here, let's say any true value, any, and then I will give the name of the tuple, that is values, and close this parenthesis. Now let's run this. Here is, I have done mistake. Sorry, the values is not defined. Oh, values, value, and then it's a true. So this function returns true if at least one element is true in the tuple. Next one is all, has all. So this function check if all elements are true. So if I give like num1 equals to, I will give 1 2 3. So num1 is a tuple here, and then I will print all, I'll use all function num1 and run this. This is true because all elements in tuple are true. But if I give like num1 equals to, let me give some like 0, so the third element is not true here. Let's print and see. Print and then all and then num1. Let's run this. It is false because all elements in the tuple are not true. That's all for today. I hope I have covered all the fundamentals of tuple operation. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more Python tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.